So in terms of Dish, again, as I said, we have led the industry in terms of not just focusing on the international segments, but also in terms of streaming. We were the first to launch a streaming product that was with Dish World, very much ahead of its time. And actually, after that launched, and it was all of our offering from Dish that we made available, off of the back of Dish World is actually where Sling TV launched. So we were the prototype for the product that actually got launched to the domestic market. That speaks volumes about how ahead of the market this market segment is. Okay. But we've also led the industry in other ways too, and I have a couple of my programming partners with us here in the audience who are probably not laughing about this. This is what's happening across the board. You know, we started with an average price point of about $40 for an international package or a South Asian or East Asian package, and our average price point now, 5 years later, is about half of that. So we are essentially, all of us are in the same boat. We are fighting for customers. We are trying to price options that are more palatable, that will create more demand. And this is a trend that will only continue, and I'll show you more of that in a minute. However, we also have begun to see some really interesting new patterns. So in the backdrop of people cutting the cord, falling prices, consumers starting to have more options, we've seen some really interesting behaviors within our South Asian customers. So when we're looking at a customer, we don't know necessarily who they are until they start consuming media and what they're watching. Because they could be taking packages from many different languages. They could be taking domestic programming, multicultural programming, but we don't really know until they start viewing what's going on. So we started to see things like domestic customers who are heavy CNN viewers starting to add a Hindi package during seasonal tune-in. And that all of a sudden for us is, well, maybe they're not a domestic customer. Maybe we just thought they were a domestic customer. Or we've seen a lot of cricket customers, people who are just signed on or to our cricket packages and a heavy viewership of cricket, starting to watch Game of Thrones and adding HBO to their packages. We saw Food Network viewers, again, signing on to South Asian packages so that they could start watching, there's a food channel called Food by Sanjeev Kapoor, very well-known chef from India. And then across the board, more and more South Indian and South Asian customers watching soccer, tons of soccer. And this to us is like, now we're starting to say like, this is really puzzling behavior. Why aren't they watching cricket? Or maybe they're watching cricket too. So we started to look at these patterns and think, there's something going on. We need to be able to address it. What are we gonna do? And why? So here's why. Here's what's going on. This is India. This is Netflix in India. This is basically what happens with our customers now, our customers who come here from India or from China, is they have net access to the same programming that we have in this country. There's this, Amazon Prime, again, India. Very big push into the market. Lots of obviously for Amazon, there's a bigger play there as well in terms of their actual e-commerce. But you see a widespread understanding of what the content is within these our home country markets before people ever even arrive here. And finally this, Hotstar. I don't know if there's probably some familiarity with this offering. This is a very big SVOD platform out of India that has recently become part of the Disney family. And they're doing things in the market that are very disruptive. Let's say that. Spending $3.5 billion on global cricket rights. Doing things like gaining familiarity within India for actually showing Game of Thrones. That's an Indian reboot of Game of Thrones, in case you were wondering. It's Jon Snow and Daenerys Targaryen. So this is the kind of thing that's happening within the home market and now starts to come into this market. And why is this important? Because it, again, starts changing people's behaviors. It used to be when you had someone coming to this country that you could basically, probably had about a 2-year window to target them and find them and sell them content from their home country. Now, they're coming with a total understanding of the content in this country. They're mixing it with their own home country content before they ever get here.